the last time? What was the last year you were wrong? Was it 80s? Was it 90s?
If it's happened.
No, I'm just curious.
Man, it's been a long.
Come on, man.
No, because I mean,
Roll it.
No, I'm seriously. I'm talking about. I am, and if I say something, I said something that was incorrect on the air the other day in the little debate. We came up from the break. I said, "Let me correct information I gave you." It's like boom, because.
Okay,
Here's the philosophy. Here's the philosophy. If you're driving down the street or if you're watching, and somebody says something and no one says anything, you go, that must be correct. No one says anything. So what happens is, especially in cable news or even on broadcast news, they will sit there and they will just let people say stuff and just slide. And I'm sitting there going, so we just gonna sit here and just let that lie just stand, and then it's kind of like, okay, now we have time. No, that was a lie. And then what they'll do is, then I hate this. Well, we'll come back and fact check the next day. No. You fact check in the moment. But the problem is, most of these people who are television anchors, they are not smart, they're not well read, and they rely on a producer to have to fact check them, provide them facts. Whereas for me, no. We're going to fact check in real time, like right now. You say something, and my whole deal is you're talking. I'm sitting there on my iPad. I remember Shermichael Singleton we working with the Ben Carson campaign. He goes, "No, Roland, Ben Carson has an HBCU plan." I'm like, "No, he doesn't." He's like, "I guarantee you." I'm like, "You know what, Shermichael? Why don't you make your point, and I'm going to sit over here and go to his website. So go ahead and finish your point." So he's talking. I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Are you done?" And I had this phrase. Shelly was my director. I would go, and so anytime my audience knew when I say, "Shelly, go to my iPad," I'm about to get in somebody's ass. It's about to happen right now. And I went, "Shelly, go to my iPad." "Sure, Michael, this is his website. This is the search box. HBCU. Click. Do you see any?" Like, it's on the screen. And he's sitting there. It's like,
oh God.
and I'm killing them. And I'm like, "Dude, I said, and we went to the break. I said, "Shermichael, never ever go on the air and be emphatic with something if you had not checked before you said it." And to this day, he's gotten other he thanks me because I put him on TV first. He said, "You taught me a valuable lesson." He said, "You handed my ass to him." I said, "Because you didn't fact check before it came out of your mouth."
Yeah. I mean, listen, you see that happen on a lot. And, I'd love to see a system where during elections, so we did this one debate one time where we had this guy who was she was from Normal. She was a director of Normal to legalize marijuana. And the other guy was a Navy intelligence guy, captain. And they came and we were doing this sit down 5-6 years ago. And the way we did it, which was fascinating, is every time a person gave a fact or a statement with data, the bottom would say, and then it would show red or it would say green. Yes, this is exactly what it is.
There you go.
I would love a format that both candidates, Republican, Democrat, every time they say something, a fact check. We should have the technology for people to be able to do that today.
Here's the deal, though. But you don't have to actually wait for them to say yes or no to that. Because you have these debate rules.
You just do it.
No, you just do it.
Yeah.
And so
why do you think CNN, ABC, Fox? Why do you think these guys don't do it?
Well, because it's an inside game. It's an inside game.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the game is you like the invitation. You want to invite them back, so you want to make them happy, and so you don't want to tick them off. And so the show's like, "Oh no!" So we're going to go soft, if you will, as opposed to
both sides do that.
Go hard, right? So you take September. This is September 21. I'm on ABC News this week, and Chris Christie gave his big speech at the Reagan Library. We need to move on from Trump, whatever. So we're sitting there, and again, I'm just a guest, right? Okay, I'm not a contributor. The other three people are contributors. George Stephanopoulos is sitting right there. And so I'm like, during the break, they said, we could talk about Chris Christie's speech. And forgot the sister, she said, "You sure we're going to talk about that?" to George. And he goes, "Yeah." Now, I'm not saying anything. Inside, I'm like, "Oh, hell yes. Bring this speech up. Please bring this speech up." So it comes up. And so George talks, and Chris is talking, and he's, taking his very high and mighty stance, and I'm sitting there, and if you go back and watch it, I'm waiting. Because see, this is what I teach people. You can't be too eager to jump in. So you have to let it come to you. So he talks, and they're talking back and forth, and then she talks, and then she talks, and then George gets to me, and I turn to Chris Christie, and I say, you have to accept the responsibility you played in creating that man. And I just went right at him. And he's like, I ran against him in 2016, but you debate prepped him in 2020 and you support. I'm talking about he turns red.
Roland, to be fair, like this is like the one thing about politics. You saw Kamala calling out Biden immediately, and then boom, she's the VP.
Yes, George H.W. Bush called Reagan's economic policies voodoo economics.
And then boom.
Right.
Yes.
But again, though, you accept the fact that you did it. So remember, she
which is totally fine.
Right. She called him out. She called him out, and they became VP. My problem with Christie was you're giving this huge speech like he was this problem, and I'm sitting there going, yes, but you created the monster. So it's sort of like you can't complain about the monster when you help create the monster when there was an option to say, I have convictions, morals, principles, and values. I simply cannot stand with a known liar.
Right.
And what I said is you chose politics and power over principles and patriotism.
Happens on both sides.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. I never said it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
The point is you have to be willing to actually say it. So if you say, okay, I was very much against this here, now I'm for it, okay, and then if it blows up, don't try to come back and go, well, I knew this thing was going to blow up. No. You didn't stand on principle. And I think that's a huge problem today when we look at not just politics, but also business. When we have people, and I'm going back to the whole point about when I was in the kindergarten, if you have to be willing to stand on truth, knowing it's going to cost you. And when you can accept that, to me, this is just me, I'm going to sleep a lot better because I'm simply not going to just go along to get along. If I actually have conviction that this person is not it, I don't care what they do and what they promise, I can't stand with you.
Right.
Not going to happen.
So that's good that you're saying that because I like stats, I like data, to go through some data. And we'll cover some of that because I truly want to get your opinion. My ideal situation would be to have a panel of folks from both sides to debate and have a conversation together civilly. I think that's the way where the audience wins, where you're able to say, here's what I believe, the other person says what I believe, and then there is the facts. Meaning,
I got a new twist for you. Not both sides.
What do you mean both?
How about you have a debate? See, again, though, this is where because I lived it. See, when it's both sides, because when I say I lived it, they would speak the truth in the green room, but when they go on the air, what happens is their tribes are watching, so they defend the tribe versus the issue. So here's what I told CNN: why don't we have some debates where you actually have two Republicans who disagree on the issue? That way, you take party out. Now becomes the issue. The problem today in most debates, we're not debating the issue. We're debating the sides. When you debate the issue, it's not you're Democrat, you're Republican, you're left, you're right, you're blue, you're red. No. What's the issue? And so when people have said to me, they're like, I've never self-identified as a Democrat or Republican. I refuse. Have I voted for Republicans and Democrats? Yes, because I look at what's this issue. I'm a huge school choice person.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had some Democrats who, and I'm like, y'all want to swing? Let's swing. And the Republicans are going, well, man, you stand with us on this issue. I'm like, no, I don't stand with you in terms of the party on the issue. I stand with the issue.
But generally,
that's the problem we have today. But we don't discuss the issue.
Well, so if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.